Hello humans, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, we shape and polish opal using a dremel. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing. Today we're going to be working on this absolutely off the charts piece of Ethiopian opal, and it has that sideways honeycomb pattern, but it has just about every color in the rainbow, though it does have a interesting shape. When we shine a flashlight through it, it is super clean inside of there, so no matter what, unless there's some sort of tragedy that occurs, we should be able to get a nice, clean piece of opal out of it. When we weigh the original piece in its rough form, it is 6.23 carats, so if you guys want to see how this spectacular opal ends up getting shaped and polished, please keep on watching. So first things first, I really do think that this would be best as a cushion cut. So going in with my Sharpie, I'm kind of just drawing a square on it, and these sides are gonna have to come off. And I'm gonna end up making this piece that is already kind of domed, the face, though the other part does have better color. So starting off with the shaping, I am taking down the sides of the stone first to create a nice square shape all around, or rectangular, or what have you. And since I have those lines there, it really helps to give me a guide on how straight the edges will be. So when you're working with a piece of opal this large, when you're trying to get a good cushion cut out of it, especially on the dremel, if you're using like a full-on lapidary setup, it's going to be easier to get straight sides, but with the dremel it can be pretty difficult to get the sides even and straight, because the barreled sintered bit here doesn't actually span the whole length of the stone, so you really got to keep an eye on the sides of it. And once I got those sides nice and flat and even all the way around, and I was satisfied with that shape, I ended up flattening out the back portion of it first, and then going into the face and rounding out the face. And since it had such a peak on the face and the back, I did end up taking off quite a bit of it in that process. And I did not actually film the piece before the Nova points. I'm really sorry about that, guys, but going into my Nova points, the black and the brown Nova point are going to help with shaping. Even with a stone this big, I do still utilize the shaping properties of the black and the brown Nova point to help the transition between the sides of the stone and the dome, as well as looking at the back and making sure that the back is as flat as humanly possible, because again, with a bigger stone it can be really easy to have a kind of wonky back, and we don't want that. And also keep an eye on the face, making sure that all of the transitions from the side to the dome are a even spacing all the way around, because that is something else that I at least personally have a issue with. So this stone isn't that massive. It's, I would consider this a medium-sized rough piece. 6 carats I feel like is pretty normal. I feel like anywhere between 5 and 15, or maybe more like 5 and 10 is pretty like medium sized, whereas anywhere between like 10 and like up is kind of a big piece for a dremel. So these are just things to keep in mind if you are working on opal with a dremel. And also when you're working on your Nova points, it's always super important to dry it off in between and make sure that you're satisfied with the finish on the stone, and just know that little scratches here and there after you're done with all the Nova points is normal, and you'll see that on my channel, that Oftentimes, after I'm done with the Nova points, I have little scratches all over the stone. I could get these all out with the Nova points, but I get impatient, as we all do. So just know that if you're using the polishing pastes like I am, it's okay to have those little scratches in it. But if you are just going through Nova points and then going straight to cerium oxide, you want to take special care to make sure that the finish is smooth and scratch free, because you know you're going straight into the cerium oxide. The cerium oxide isn't going to really even those scratches out very much. But also, if you are somebody who is a Australian opal person, or you cut things like sunstone or something, those are a bit harder than Ethiopian opal. At least the Wellow opal, which is usually what I work on. I can't quite say about stayish and other stuff yet because I'm not super experienced with that, but I do know that Wellow opal is quite soft and very, very hydrophane, so it will always absorb that water and lose its play of color. And if you're new to opal, don't worry about it losing its color. That's okay, that's normal. That's just the stone absorbing the water. When you're working with things like Brazilian opal and Australian opal, as well as I'm sure like American opal, it's not going to absorb that water, and so you're not going to have that issue. So this is the stone when I've finished shaping it, and it's full of water, and you can see all those little scratches all over the face and the back, and yeah, that's pretty normal. I feel like for me, lately at least, that's been happening a lot. But when we weigh it out with the water in it, it's 2.76 carats. So we did lose a lot, but when it dries out, this is what it looks like, and you can really see those honeycomb fingers. If it was a thicker piece and I was able to face it the direction that the fingers are going, it would be a brilliant honeycomb. But I do enjoy the sideways honeycomb pattern, and this one is really, really bright still, and you can still see all those scratches, which we are going into our lapidary pastes to remove those scratches. So this is my opal on a shish kebab skewer that I got from my local grocery store, that's been glued to it with Gorilla Glue gel glue, and I'll just press that down on the opal for a couple minutes, or 40 seconds, until it feels nice and secure on there. And then, as you can see, I went around all the sides to hit the edges first, and then I kind of take it from the edges inwards towards the face, and then I twisted around all around the face really rapidly to get the face nice and smooth. So if you twist the opal with this shape through the if you twist it through the sides with the sharp corners, there is a possibility that it's going to take off some of your felt tip and have some felt tip dust going around, and that's pretty normal. But you should be wearing at least a COVID mask when you're polishing. This is days later, so I'm not wearing my dust mask, but you should still be protecting your eyes and lungs when you are working with the polishing pastes, just because, to be safe. It's got diamond in it, and you don't want that in your eyes. I feel like it would be pretty painful, so just take the safety precautions necessary. I also am not having my nail dust vacuum on during this portion of it, because the diamond paste doesn't float around in the air that much, but I do get it on my face, so you should be protecting your eyes. Something else to keep in mind when you're doing this is that you are only able to polish the face when you're dopping it, and you're going to have to take it off the dopping stick and polish the back. And to take it off the dopping stick, you should let the stone soak in acetone, and that super glue will pop right off, and it will be super easy peasy. But this is what the stone looks like when it's finished, guys, and as you can see, it is just a spectacular stone. It's definitely the biggest cushion cut I've ever done, and that color just really distributes itself wonderfully across the stone, and you get it in all sorts of angles, the whole rainbow. It's really awesome. When we weigh out the finished stone, it is 2.45 carats. So when we do the math, we ended up losing a total of 3.98 carats. But I feel like that's pretty good. We did lose more than half. This is the stone before we shaped it, but you can see that there's all sorts of, bumps and fissures, and it was a really weird shape. So overall, I'm very pleased with the result that we ended up getting. I feel like it's nice, it's bright, it's brilliant, it's a good shape. You've got the full rainbow in there, and you always get color in it with every angle that you shine it in, as well as it's a nice even shape. I'm very happy with it. This is the honeycomb on the side that it could have been if it was a different shaped rough piece that I'm trying to show you guys. But I really couldn't be more pleased with this stone. I feel like it would make like an awesome ring or a necklace, and you can see that the back of the stone still has great color as well, and if I was able to make the face, it would be that face. If I was able to make the back the face, I would have gotten a much bigger stone, but I still feel like the part that we chose to be the face in the end, it's not really that much less bright than the back. It's still just off the charts. And then there's that little bit of a different pattern underneath the fingers, which is really wicked cool. If you're here for that giveaway, the weight of the parcel is 67.87 carats. So, Carl West, you won with your guess of 68 carats. Pretty dead on. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That would be awesome if you did. Smash that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Share this with a friend if you have a friend to share it with. Leave a comment if you have anything that you want to say about the video. I almost always respond to them. And I'll see you guys next time that I make a video. Later.